Welcome to the Build podcast. We are excited to be hosting Jaime Fernandez Sr. today. Are you Jaime Fernandez Sr., right?
Yes.
Is that the legal name?
Well, and you say so, you're the boss.
All right. So that's what it's going to be. And Jaime is what I would call a serial entrepreneur. He has done many, many different things and has a really strong network. And a lot of times people will tap him, ask him to come help with the things that they're working on. He's very talented and is a big fan of Will. Will, how do you guys know each other?
Well, I first met Jaime when I visited his house and asked if I could date his daughter. That probably wasn't the first time I had met you.
Mm-hmm.
Not the first, I'm sure.
But it was maybe the third or fourth. It was not very. We had not had many conversations, and we sit down and I ask him if I can date his daughter. And he was like, "Have you talked with her? Like, what does she say about this?" It was a great response. But Jaime is now my father-in-law, so it works out with his daughter.
So Jaime, as Maria was growing and she was a young child and then getting older, is this what you thought she would choose?
What a tough question. I don't know. I mean, it's
better.
Yeah. Yes, I think it was a good choice.
No, I'm just kidding. That's great. All right, cool. Well, Will, what do you want to start us off with?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jaime, like we have a lot of conversations about projects, things we're working on, businesses, things that hopefully will turn into a business. And really, I think the core of our conversations are around what we're working on, what are we building, or what do we want to build? And then we're having these conversations with people that have built things, whether it's like Rick Leeper or others, like a lot of your friends who are at a later stage in what they've done. And so I think it would be great to start on a like just your story. Like just a little about who you are, and then leading into what was your first project that you remember working on, or what was your first business that you started, those things, and then we can go from there. But just maybe start off with a little about your story.
Well, I was in the coffee business in Mexico in the late 80s. And when the government took control of all the coffee growers, as a national company, it broke us all. We all went south, and we had to think what to do after that. So since I was a U.S. citizen, I decided to come to the States and start all over. So it was in 1990 when I moved to San Antonio.
You're growing up in Mexico, but then you just said you're a U.S. citizen. It's a good story. It's illustrative, I think, of decisions that you took early on. But how did you become a U.S. citizen in Mexico?
Well, my father was born in the States, in New York. He was a migrant from Spain. His parents were, and her parents came to New York to establish in, 1920s. So he was born in New York, and that's why I became a U.S. citizen by naturalization. So when I was I think I was 17 years old, I had to take a decision to in order to get a job with a British company, and they didn't hire Mexicans citizens, so I had to resign to my Mexican citizenship, and I was only U.S. citizen for several years in order to work for this company. So after that, I came back. I went back to Mexico, and they told me to, and I wanted to be Mexican again, but they didn't allow this dual citizenship. So I was a U.S. citizen for maybe 20 years before President Fox gave us the opportunity to to have dual citizenship. So in probably was 1993, 94. I don't know. I don't remember when Fox was president. So I became dual citizenship again, Mexican and American. So that opened the door for me to work here freely. I mean, just as any other citizen. And I started in 1990 representing a company from Mexico that manufactured a hard cider, trying to get into this market. They couldn't do it because of the regulations here. So they asked me to either go back with them to Mexico or stay here and do whatever I can. So I decided to stay, and I started exporting uh, hogs and sheep into Mexico, truckloads of that. So I became a partner with one veterinarian here. So I had the contacts in Mexico, I had the buyers, and he had the producers here, the breeders, and so that kept me going for probably 3-4 years. Then I started selling a lot of goods and things into for Mexico for entrepreneurs or the government in Mexico, like heavy construction equipment, machinery, and it moved me to different things until NAFTA. When NAFTA came into place, oh, then everybody could do what I did. So I had to reinvent myself and find something else to do because now everybody could import things. And here I am right now, just helping uh, investors from Mexico that want to get into the U.S. market, helping them to facilitate them whatever they need, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's really awesome. It's interesting that you made two big moves based on things that the government did. Like one of them is they took control of the coffee, so you had to pivot, you had to change and do something else. And then NAFTA came and it changed what you were doing, and you had to do something else. How do you feel about it? Is it frustrating, or is it just you see it as part of the way that life works, that the government comes in and shapes kind of how businesses run?
Well, at the beginning, it was frustrating. I mean, because you build up something and then the next day is worth nothing. I mean, because regulations change. And so it was frustrating, but you have to reinvent yourself and try to do something different and keep going. So that's what I did.
When reinventing, do you remember, did you have something that you were already like, I think this will work? Or was at the time NAFTA came out, or was it a few things or was it people? Like how did that process, how did you go from what you were doing and step into whatever was next?
Well, it was very hard because you have to find the niche of the need, either for Mexicans they want to get into the U.S. market, or Americans they want to go to the Mexican market.
Mm-hmm.
So what I started doing was with the people that I knew over the years, I was trying to just be the middleman, connecting guy with whoever needs something in Mexico for American product or vice versa. So that's how I met a lot of businessmen here in Texas that wanted to get into the Mexican market or wanted goods from Mexico that were restricted. So it was very hard to start learning the laws, important exporting laws for both countries in order to make them successful. So I moved to that part without me being the entrepreneur, but just the facilitator of the process.
Yeah, it's kind of like a broker or a middleman. Yeah. So, did you enjoy changing? Did you, as you were working on something and did it ever get boring and you were looking for something else and you wanted to change, or would you have preferred to just do the same thing your whole life and never change?
Oh no, I get bored very easy. I need to be changing all the time. I mean, I can stand one thing and once I get to whatever I want there, I need to move to something else. I cannot stand in one business all my life. I mean, it's just me.
So,
I'm with you.
Oh, no, go on. What can you let's just for fun list how many different products or businesses, or like, so you've mentioned coffee, you mentioned hogs and sheep, furniture. I know you've done
furniture also, heavy equipment, trucks. What else? Agricultural equipment. And I mean spices with John Vollmer.
Oh yeah,
spices and I don't know many things. Yes, oil, engine oil, and I mean, it's honestly it's too many things to mention.
Yeah,
it's been. I mean, I'm 64, so it's been a lot of things.
Serial entrepreneur, as Patrick said. Yeah.
So how has your selection process changed as you've gotten older? Because I imagine in the beginning you would take what's available. And then as you get older, do you still just take whatever is available, or do you try to figure out something maybe you enjoy or is more lucrative? What filter do you use for that selection?
That's a good question. I mean, probably whatever is available at the beginning. And if on the way I find something else that I like more doing, I switch to that. See, so like right now I'm selling engine oil for companies and shops and things, and I don't like it, but that's what gives me some income.
Right.
And I invested with them also, so I'm part owner of the company. But I'm looking for something that is more appealing to me, like working with peasants, farmers. That's why I started with 15 years ago producing, manufacturing fertilizer, organic fertilizer in Mexico, using the cactus, the nopal, as base to produce that. But I tried to do that here in the States, but there is no cactus here that will work for me for my process. So I set up the plant in the state of Hidalgo in Mexico. But I have to partner with someone that has the land to grow the cactus. He hasn't done a very good job. And of course, by me being here, it hasn't grown the way I would love to. But yeah, still, that's my passion. My passion is the agriculture. The outdoors, not being in an office. I cannot be inside. I have to be outside talking to people and making and see how the things grow. I mean, it's amazing to me how you plant a seed and starts growing, and when you fertilize it well and you take care of the soil and blah blah blah, it gives you a good product. That's what I love. Right now, I don't have land. I don't have anything, but maybe someday I will buy a piece of land to move into agriculture.
Can you talk to us about the fertilizer story and what you saw and how that came about?
That's interesting because when I partnered with it, when I was invited, this guy invited me to be part of his project. His project was to use cactus to produce energy, as crazy as it sounds. But in the process of that, his idea was to produce gas in the fermentation of cactus, to produce gas to run generators, which in theory it works pretty well, but you need millions of dollars to do that. So when we were working doing that, we invested in that in Mexico. I realized that it was going to take a lot of millions of dollars, which I didn't have. Neither my partner had, but he was so stubborn and keep going on that we went different ways, and I decided to get to the point where I just produce fertilizer out of the process and not go all the way to electricity. So we took it different ways, and I start investing in research on how to do the best fertilizer possible. And by being the best fertilizer possible, had to be very inexpensive and had to have all the nutrients that the different soils needed in order to grow quality plants. It took me probably to this point for probably 15 years to get to this point. I not partner, but ¿cómo se dice? Well, I got together with a couple of universities in Mexico that did research.
Collaborated.
Yeah. I bought the equipment that they required to run the tests, and I had the contacts with the government and different farmers, so they allowed us to do the actual test on the field. And when you plant something, it takes several months to grow, and then you have to see if the quality of the product is there, the yield of the crops, and all that. It took years and years, because we have to try on vegetables, we have to try on fruits and grains, and it takes time. Not because one crop is good, it's a good product. You have to try it for 3, 4, 5 years and see the yield, how it increases or decreases or whatever the results are. And that's where the university helped me a lot, with the numbers and and being a third party, being a very honest on whatever he presented, because there are a lot of cheating in this. You can tell, you can see a lot of products that say they do something, and when you try it, it's not worth it, and they sell it for a lot of money. So we came up with this product that is called Arche. It's it's a fertilizer that helps the nutrients in the soil. That's the main thing. We restore the soil where you're going to plant whatever you want to plant. So we analyze the soil first. We see what is lacking or what has in it, and then we formulate it specifically for that. And that's where we're standing right now in that project.
Did you find that it works?
Oh yes, I have testimonials from a lot of farmers reading testimonials that says, "Okay, this product works very well." Let me tell you, the last time I was in Oaxaca, I moved to Oaxaca for a year and a half just to run the tests, and this guy was a cucumber exporter to the U.S., and he was exporting. When one plant will give him probably 25% of the cucumbers export quality, when he started using mine on the second crop, he was probably 45% increase for export. So, and he had probably a couple more weeks of harvest, so his production increased, and also the quality of the product. And we try that with strawberries. We try that with in Oaxaca was strawberries, tomatoes, and cucumbers. Yeah, that's the three main products, and all of them in the different areas, they all had a very good crops. Quality. The quality was just amazing. I had a client. I used to go to a small market, natural market in Oaxaca. Will knows that, La Cosecha, and there's just organic market, and they give you drinks and things made right on the side, And the lady that used to buy the cucumbers for me told me that his son loved the cucumbers, and these ones were the best ones he ever tried. And he was a 7-year-old kid, because the flavor was there.
Huh.
I mean, you can tell when it's just water and has the flavor of the product, And same thing happened with the tomatoes. So the products that I took to this market, I mean, everybody was very pleased with them because of the quality. Because we not only increase the yield, but also the quality of the product.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was very satisfying, to see that the product worked. But
Was it
I'm
surprising to you that it worked so well, or were you kind of expecting it to come through like
I
that?
expected that to go to be that. I expect that because we did our job very
Meticulously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
meticulously,
Yeah.
and
detailed.
detail. Yes, and so I knew it would work, but I just need to find a farmer to allow me to try it because they are very. I mean, they are very close and say, "This is working for me. Why should I move to something new or different?"
Right.
And well, I convinced them to let me use it, and they were surprised. I mean, they themselves they were very surprised that this an expensive product would work that well. See, put it that way. They were using probably per acre around $500 a month in fertilizers, and with mine they use only like $25.
Wild.
So
That is a very different price.
yes, yes, that's why they couldn't believe it worked that well. So sometimes you have to sell it at $400 in order for them to believe in the product.
Right.
I didn't want to do that, so I had a hard time trying to find the one that wanted to try it. And I gave away the product. I mean, I didn't charge for it. I just try it, try it. So I wasn't making any money. I'm still not making any money. But yeah, that's the story with the fertilizer. I stayed with that project for 15 years, which is a record for me. And off and on, but I mean, yeah.
But part of that was because of what you mentioned. Like it joined. So many of your interests. Like one, the farmers and working with them.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it was the agriculture, and then three, it's good for the environment. Yes. Right? I mean, it's those three things.
But believe me, also one of my where I hit the wall most of the time was because of the agronomos. The ones that went to the university and said this cannot work because of this and that and that and that. And when I prove them wrong, they just close the door. They said, "No, you are not getting to my farm." Why? Wow. I don't know. The universities were my worst. How you say that? I mean, they
customers, partners.
Yes, whatever. I mean, they blocked me all the time. The universities, the agriculture. I mean, there's two main universities in agriculture in Mexico, which are one in Chihuahua, Narro, and one in central Mexico. But they didn't let me sell my product. They talk to the farmers and tell them, no, that's going to ruin your program and your project. And it's not. I mean, they just wanted to make money. That's all they wanted to. But I mean, it's hard. It's hard to bring a new product that works and it's inexpensive to a market that is all corrupt.
Yes, that is hard.
What have you trying to see how to ask this, but one of the things that is interesting is who has influenced you, who have been the people, the relationships that have helped you along the way that you've pulled from. Another, like an anti version of that would be maybe people that you thought were going to be good partners and then it didn't work out. And so within both of those questions, it's like, what have you learned about working with people, finding good partners? Like, how do you?
That's very hard to find a good partner because once they start doing whatever the project is, most of the time they just pursue money. They don't care if they are helping people or increasing the yields of the quality of the product or things, and they just try to make more money. They try to raise the prices right away because it works, instead of trying to help the people that cannot afford to pay fertilizers, commercial fertilizers. So it's I don't know, this world's upside down, especially in the farms. There are no subsidies. There are nothing in Mexico that can help you. And when you come with a product that is very inexpensive and works, they don't believe in it, and they try to increase it. They tell, for example, I was selling the product at 8 pesos, 8 pesos a liter, 8 pesos. I mean, it's nothing. It was cost plus 20%. And when I offered the product to them, they said, and they saw the results that it worked. They said, okay, let's sell it at 400 pesos. Why? Why? Because it works? No, you have to help the people to bring some more money to their families so they can grow with you. You don't grow and leave them behind.
Right.
So that's the part that they don't get. They don't understand that you have to help others in order to be successful. And they are, that's disappointing.
Well, I think there are a lot of entrepreneurs that are successful that don't care about helping people. They care about making money.
Yeah.
And they're successful in the sense that their business makes money, but it's not the same thing when you have a heart and you actually care about the people who are doing the work and the people who are out there.
Yeah, because they can become wealthy, but they are not successful because they're not helping anyone but themselves. I mean,
so success includes helping people along the way. It's not just an individual endeavor.
You have to grow with the community. You cannot grow by yourself.
Yeah.
That's success.
That is true. I've got some dogs in the background. I don't know if you can hear them.
Yes.
A little bit.
A little bit. Not too
bad, but they are there. We had our own dogs a little bit ago. Who has been a positive partner for you over the years? Who would you say that you've worked with?
My wife.
Cheers.
Good.
Laura, of course.
In what ways has she been helpful, or as you guys face, what is it, challenges, or has she been encouraging? What kinds of ways has she been a good partner for you?
Any way you can think about. I mean, she's always encouraging me to do different things or to be successful in what I'm doing already. And she's always pushing me to keep going. And I mean, even if we have a little money, she says, we adjust to that. Don't worry. Just keep doing it. I mean, she's the best. She's the best.
What about other people in your life that maybe they're mentors or they're influences, like people that you watch and you like what they do? Who have some of those people been?
Probably it's people that I haven't known yet, but I have read their books, like Minor Murray. He's one of the guys that I follow a lot. He died many years ago without writing a book. Somebody else wrote a book for him with all his findings. But there's a lot of people. I mean, I get encouraged also with Will and Maria and the people around me. It's always I look at them and I see how they're doing and what they do well. I try to follow. I was the worst manager administrator of income until I learned from Will that you have to have different envelopes to put your, and things like that. I mean, I learn from everybody. I try to learn from everyone. I mean, it doesn't have to be a teacher or a pastor or whatever. I mean, I learn the most from peasants, from people that actually work in the fields. I learn a lot from them. And then, and honestly, I don't go to the engineers, agricultural engineers, with questions. I go to the people that does actually the planting and the harvesting and everything in that field. I go to them. And when I moved to San Antonio, and I was telling Will that all my friends are getting old because I lost my dad when I was 17. So I didn't have a role model to follow in business. I was still in high school. But when I moved to San Antonio, my friends were all in the 50s, but they were entrepreneurs and successful what they were doing. And I was only 30. So I started to follow them and get advice from them, from many of them, just by imitating what they were doing right. But now they are 80 and 60, and so they are all dying. So,
I'm sorry.
yeah, but yes.
So the other day we were talking about, I forget his name, but the one working with the atmospheric.
John Vollmer.
John Vollmer, that's right. How old were you when you met him?
I met him in 96, 97, probably, around that. And I took John Vollmer to Mexico because he was in the peppers business, the hot peppers. So I had a connection that grew a lot of peppers in Mexico. I told him, hey, I invite you to come down to me with me to Mexico, see how they do it, and see if you can do business with them. So I took him to Tulancingo. He went with me, stayed there for a week. He started buying some peppers from these producers these farmers in Mexico. And since then, we've been friends. And he specializes in just hot peppers. He sells to churches here and to Buffalo Wings and to all those big chains. He's a supplier to Bollner's here in San Antonio. It's a big firm of spices. So, yeah, I've been friend with him for 30 years. And he's now with the atmospheric harvesters, water harvesters.
Yeah.
Well, we're grateful for the people who grow hot peppers. That's a very important and wonderful part of life.
Yes. Yeah.
So what about this?
He sells us.
Right. Yeah, but he makes it happen. What about the atmospheric generator that? Yeah. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I met a guy that had a small shop in Bandera, probably in year 2000, 2005. And this guy was making just a small equipment that caught my attention, and I bought several from him to take into Mexico and try him there. So I bought, 10 equipment, took them in my pickup truck. I took them myself, and I placed them in different places. And the same way. Okay, just try it. If it works for you, pay it. It did work. They didn't pay. That's another story. I'm terrible collecting money. But since then, I started learning about that technology. And just recently, about 5 years ago, John told me that he moved into that, but he set up the plant with a Russian technician or engineer. He's an engineer, not a technician, that lived in Spain. I don't know how they met, but he set up a plant in Spain where he manufactured this equipment, big ones. I was using the small ones for houses, and he went to big ones, the ones that produce several gallons, hundreds of gallons a day. And when he told me about it, I didn't say anything, but he said that he was being successful with that, with the technology, and how this guy, his partner, developed software that you can run from anywhere, and you can see how the equipments are, the production, and when to turn it off, when to shut it off, and blah, 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 all remotely. So he's done what this guy from Bandera, Texas did many years ago. He's done it with the new technology. And the equipment are just amazing. It's amazing. But one thing is that he tries to make a lot of money out of one equipment. Okay, I know how much the costs are roughly because I investigated, and he sells them for 2-3 times whatever the cost is. But he's planning to bring the manufacturing plant to the States because he has not been able to sell to the government here, to FEMA or whatever the entity is. because they're manufacturing offshore. So he's right now he's looking for partners, for a partner or something, investors to bring the plant here and start manufacturing here in Texas. So that's what they'll.
And these are like, it's incredible because it's what is the humidity? It takes the humidity in the air, brings it in and creates distills it. I guess I don't know the right word, but it's pure drinking water,
Yes.
and it's clean. What's the humidity point that it has to?
Well, back then when I was with this guy from Bandera, you needed at least 40% humidity for the equipment to work. Right now, John has reduced that to 28% humidity for them to produce. Of course, more humidity, more production. But 28 is amazing.
Yeah.
That they can harvest water from the air at 28% humidity. So he's doing a good job with that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So what you can do is just set it up, and then it extracts the moisture from the air and creates pure drinking water or
Pure
usable water. Yeah,
Yes.
for whatever you need.
Yeah.
So
Right now,
does it take? Go ahead.
right now he has one small equipment that I think it produces 60 gallons a day with the conditions of West Texas, which is low humidity, and it's working well. It's a cattle ranch. That 60 gallons, it's maybe little water, but when you don't have any, it's a lot of water. So he has it there just for people to go visit and see how it works. He shows the technology and everything. So I've seen it work here, and it works pretty well.
You said it's one machine and it makes 60 gallons of water a day?
The small one. He has big ones that make hundreds of gallons a day.
And what's the size? When you say small, what do you? Yeah,
small is like probably 4 by 4 by 5 feet, something like that.
Yeah, it's not big.
No, it fits in a pallet, a wood pallet.
Yeah.
It fits there. That's a small one, and the big ones are the truck size. Okay, and those are for hundreds of gallons a day.
Are there other people producing this type of equipment?
Yes, but not with the quality that John is doing it, for what I've seen. And the price are very similar. I mean, the other guys also are charging a lot of money for the equipment. I know we can reduce the cost, the manufacturing costs. I know, that's for a fact.
And the technology piece too, where I think what this Russian engineer has been able to do in Spain, you can check the efficiency of it. You can help make sure it's running at that efficiency, but you do it probably not on. I don't know. I don't think it's on an app from what you were saying, but it's remotely. So you can from a computer.
Yes, from your phone.
From your phone. Yeah. So on an app, you can check all the systems and make sure it's running. You can make sure it's like operating optimally, and it's that is also pretty incredible. Yeah,
because you don't have to be in the in the ranch,
right?
And you can turn it on and turn it off when as needed.
Yeah,
if the tank is full of water, well, just turn it off. So, and it runs with natural gas. It can run with solar panels. It can run with
Cactus Energy.
Oh yes. No, not yet. But yes, I mean, you can take it wherever, and it will, and just have the energy to run it. The solar panels or whatever. Doesn't require a lot of energy, electricity to run. It's a very simple system.
That's awesome. That sounds like it has a lot of possibility and the implications of what that could do for people that don't have access to clean drinking water in a remote area.
Yeah, or during disasters, For example, a hurricane hits, and you take your equipment and you start giving them drinking water right away.
Immediately, yeah.
Immediately, yes. So it has a lot of pluses.
And Florida, for instance, just got hit by a hurricane, and they have a lot of humidity down there.
Yes, I mean, it will produce hundreds of gallons a day.
Yes. That would be huge. So in order for him to be able to sell it in the States, he has to have an entity here established. He has to have some kind of investment or something that.
If you want to go to the government, yes. If we want to sell to the government, yes. Okay. It has to be manufactured here because since it's drinking water, it's considered a national security somehow.
Okay.
See, so that's why he wants to bring the factory here. Assembly plant, yeah.
Well, one of the things that we like to talk about. Sorry, go ahead.
No, he's trying to find a partner here to go along with him, and sell him.
Yes,
actually sell him the factory because John is 82 and he told me he's about to retire of everything. So he's not ready, but he's thinking about it. That the time is coming, for him to retire.
Maybe we can help him find an investor or a buyer.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we like to talk about is generational wealth and how one generation works to build something that then the next generation takes and maybe takes farther, but they help each other. And so one person's contribution is not limited to the years that they have, but it's to also the people that come after them. And in your case, you've talked about where you came from, how the U.S. citizenship has really helped you step into what you ended up getting into. But then as you think about the people that are coming after you, like how do you think about generational wealth and how do you think about setting up for like your grandkids or even your grandkids' kids, their opportunities?
I don't know. to be honest, I haven't thought about it.
You don't think about that one?
I don't know. I think in the moral side, just by being me, they can learn things or not, but they can imitate. And I think, but on a business side, I don't know. I would love them to follow their heart first, and if they have a heart for the soil, I can be a coach for them.
Yeah.
To me, my passion is the field, the soil, the plants,
right.
The outdoors, and that.
Well, I think it's not just money. It's not just business. It is who you are, and it is who they are, their hearts as they get involved in the things that they care about. Grandparents play a big part in people's upbringing, because they have their parents, and their parents are great. But these grandparents often help the kids see, more and see bigger. And like even your story of all the things that you faced and where you came from and the things that you've been involved in, I think will be inspirational to your grandkids and their kids.
It will be massive what that impact. And it's one of the reasons Maria and I were excited to have Jaime and Laura be here and be close, and like our kids growing up where they can just walk over and we sit around at the dinner table and there's the conversations that happen when we're all together, or we sit around at the dinner table and we say, "Where's Josie, our 5-year-old?" And we have no idea, but we know she's probably over here eating dinner.
Yeah.
But on the generational thing, it's in our family, there's different stories. But my grandfather built, on my mom's side, he built businesses in San Francisco, and it was very successful. And he left that to the kids. But then there were even tracts of land and stuff that they had in Palestine, and then people got involved, and there was like some backdoor things and maybe even betrayals where somebody took advantage of that stuff and used a lot of it. And so we didn't. Some of my mom's side of the family have been trying to fight for that stuff, and there was some loss. And when your dad moved to Mexico, it was, I mean, he was also an entrepreneur in a lot of ways and built. I mean, I don't know all the different things he was in, but I remember one of the stories being that when he passed away, nobody really knew everything that he was involved in, and it wasn't until some years later that papers were discovered. By that point, it was too late to act on it. But he had like ranches and
he had a couple of ranches here, one in California and one in New Mexico, and those were lost. Both of them. One was an avocado ranch in California.
Wow.
And was lost. How many acres? I don't know. It was producing, yes. And the one in New Mexico also, the ranch that he lost became a subdivision for one of the cities right now, and we lost that one too. Yeah, and that happened with pieces of land in Mexico City also. By the time we find out that lot belonged to my dad, it was already a building on top of it. And so, I mean, yeah, because he didn't have communication with my mom. He had his businesses running and his investments and everything, and they didn't communicate very well on that probably. So by the time we discovered the documents, or we received letters saying, "Hey, you owe me this much on taxes. Why are you talking about what taxes for?" Then the lawyer started investigating, and yeah, it was lack of communication, I believe.
Yeah. And then it's just gone.
Yeah, it's gone forever.
Yeah. Those are things that I think about with, for sure, our kids, but then even after, like the stuff that we're working on, the stuff that we're building on, projects that you have going right now, how do we do it in a way that benefits them, that it's not just for a single generation, but it's beyond that. I mean, and that's a lot of the environment stuff, is like taking care of
environment. Yes.
Yeah, the land that we're in, and and those things.
Yes, I taught him to hug a tree. They need to hug trees, to feel them, to be part of them, care for them. Trees are so important.
Yeah,
you need to love them. You don't cut them off. When we were going to build this house, remember?
Yeah.
There was a tree that needed to be cut.
Yeah.
We thought about it for weeks, and the contractor was, "Hey, come on, guys, make a decision." Well, it has to go. I'm sorry.
Right. Well, and I think they wanted to cut more.
Yes.
And we said, okay, you can just do this one.
Just one. Yeah. Don't touch the other one.
Right.
Yes.
You can make a table out of it or something, or a nice stick.
Yeah.
Firewood.
So
Firewood.
Some of the firewood. Some of the advice that you've given so far for younger people coming up is follow your heart, communicate well, hug a tree. What other pieces of advice do you think you would give to people who are starting off? Maybe they're like you and they get bored and want to try new things, or maybe they're not. But what advice would you give to younger people?
Mainly to follow their heart, because their passion will lead them to whatever they want. I mean, just follow your heart, do whatever you want, and you will success by doing it. See, I mean, I cannot tell you enough how much I love the field, the soil, the plants. I mean, I can tell you, but until you feel it, you will follow me on that path. So just do whatever you want. If you don't want to go to the university, I don't care. Don't go there. You don't need to. As long as whatever you do it with excellence. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
That's good.
Yeah.
You don't need to be certified by for a third party to be successful.
What do you mean by that?
The way I understand success, okay? Being happy every
Yes.
day and being, passionate about something and work hard for it.
Well, and
Yes.
that's something that I think in Oaxaca, the farmers there, the families there, they have. They're not. It's a very simple way of life.
Oh yes,
and it's so rich. And when you visit there, and you live there. But when you visit there, you touch that, you get that, and it's just a content. It's a calm.
Hmm.
Um,
Like,
and
yeah, like I felt the Lord told me many years ago, go back to basics. The simple things are the most important things in life. Just go back to basics. What is basic? The simple things, the simple life. When I was in Oaxaca, and not only in Oaxaca, in Hidalgo also, uh, I had a farm, a ranch there. Remember, recently in Cuautepec,
uh-huh.
and when it was somebody's birthday on Wednesday, you celebrate on Wednesday. You don't wait until the weekend because everybody's free. You celebrate the birthday the day is you know. I mean, you don't have to wait because that's the the nature thing to do. You don't. Hey, we're gonna throw a party on Sunday because Tuesday is birthday of someone. No, no, no. That day everything shuts down. That everything stops because we're celebrating. I mean, and they do that all the time because there is no different when you work with in a farm. Sunday and Wednesday are the same. I mean, you have to do the same kind of work.
Yeah.
So it's not different.
There is no weekend.
No weekend. I mean, it's just because it's life. It's your daily life. It doesn't matter how it's called.
Yeah. I love that you don't wait. You just grab that opportunity to celebrate a birthday on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Go all out. Yeah. Take all week.
This is
celebrate it all week.
This.
Yeah. Well, most of them do it at least 3 days. Weddings are for 5 days, maybe a week long. The pre-wedding, the wedding, and post-wedding. That's how they do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would not fly in America.
And that gives you memories, and then, I mean, it's family getting together. They don't go from other state to just for one day. They stay there several days, because they're celebrating a wedding. So it's not just come and go. You come, you stay, and you go whenever you want to go back.
Well, I'm always down to celebrate a wedding, so feel free to extend an invitation. I'll go party for 3 days, no problem.
Yes. Me too.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm. Jaime, thanks for taking time to do that. Yeah, I think there's a lot. We covered the surface on so many of it, so many things. We could have probably spent an entire hour or more talking about the fertilizer and your process there and those 15 years and ups and downs and discovering the key ingredient that you need, all that stuff. I mean, I think
it's amazing.
Your journey there, but any of it, you've got a lot of stories to tell. So hopefully, we'll have you back. We'll do this again, dive into maybe something more specific, but thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat.